In our previous videos, we discussed what is temperature. We learned by definition, temperature is a measure of the mean kinetic energy possessed by the particles that form an object. And we also discussed how to measure heat and the inventors who are in connection to that topic. In case you missed that video, please click this link on the top left of your screen or the link in the description to watch those episodes. Let's talk about the next topic, which is heat. A very common word. But what exactly is heat? Heat is the transfer of kinetic energy from one medium or object to another, or from an energy source to a medium or object. I will explain this whole thing in a very simple form in just a few minutes. Before I explain the main topic, please understand this. You cannot interchangeably use heat and temperature. They are two different things but related. In simple words, temperature is used to measure how cold or hot an object is, whereas heat is an energy transfer from a hot object to a cold object or objects. Let's take an example. Early morning, you wake up and make your cup of coffee. Before you pour hot water into your cup, it usually feels cold. But when you pour hot water into your mug, you feel it's hot. That is because the kinetic energy which was in hot water transferred into your mug. In this same example, water got its kinetic energy by boiling using a source of heat. It can be a flame from a gas burner or an electric kettle. So, the heat initially transferred from the source of heat to water, which made it boil, and when poured into your mug, the heat of the water transferred to the mug. How flame got its heat, or how kettle got its heat, are for a different chapter that we will discuss later. You witness how heat got transferred from one object to another. Heat transfers from an object with a higher temperature to an object with a lower temperature. Let's take a closer look at what happens here. Remember these two chaps in our previous video? Yes, high energy molecules and low energy molecules. This is the cross-section of your mug. Before you fill your mug, the wall will have low energy molecules, which is why you feel it's not hot or warm. The hot water, by the way, has high energy molecules since it has been heated up. When you pour the hot water into your cold mug, the two object surfaces touch each other and start the reaction of transferring the energy from high to low energy molecules. You can see that high energy molecules from the hot water, which are vibrating, hits on the low energy molecules which are on the colder surface on the mug wall, resulting in the low energy molecules vibrating at a higher speed. The collision of the high energy molecules with the low energy transfers the heat from a hot object to a cold object. Let us investigate what happens to a hot object gets in touch with a cold object. You may have witnessed when you take out a boiled egg from the bubbling pot and try to peel the shell. Your hands get burned, isn't it? Instead of peeling the hot eggs, we put the eggs into a ball filled with cold water. After a while, when you pick up the egg, you won't feel the hotness it used to have. Now it's easily peelable. And when you touch the water where the boiling eggs were, it's not cold anymore. It has become warmer than before. That means the heat from the boiled eggs has transferred to the cold water. We also can say that the temperature of the boiled eggs has reduced while the temperature of the cold water has increased. At a certain point, the hot egg's heat stops transferring heat to the water. In other words, both objects have come to a state called thermal equilibrium. When high energy molecules of the hot object, in this case, the hot eggs, share the energy with the colder water, in this case, lower energy molecules of the cold object. This is another way of describing the transition of heat from one object to another. Remember, this explanation can actually happen only in a controlled environment. When this whole process practically happens in a normal environment like our home, you should be able to figure out the number of heat transitions that can happen to the heat of the hot egg. Yes, it happens from hot egg to water, then to the water container and surrounding air. Or from hot egg to water and surrounding air. or from hot egg to water, the container and the table where the water container is placed, and so on. Here is something for your general knowledge. In 1798, Sir Benjamin Thompson, Count von Rumford, an American-born British physicist known to be the first person to describe heat as a form of energy. Thereafter in 1840 an English physicist named James Prescott Joule experimentally investigated this same subject. Heat can be measured as energy. It's measured in joule. The person who is responsible for introducing this scale is Mr. James Prescott Joule, whom we talked about in our tip on general knowledge. It's also measured using calories. In our next episode, let's talk about the heat capacity of an object and the change of state of matter. Before wrapping up this session, let's do a quick recap. What is heat? Heat is the transfer of kinetic energy from one medium or object to another, or from an energy source to a medium or object. In which order does heat transfer? The heat transfers from hot to cold objects only. Can we measure heat? Heat is energy. So yes, we can. What is the unit of measure for heat? It's measured in joule. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. That will really help our team to bring you more videos like this. We are in the process of bringing you more videos at least once a week. You will be notified when you subscribe to our channel. Thank you.